Welcome to Podcasts, recorded live at the Center for Spiritual Living in Portland, Oregon. We have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at csoportland.org and look under the Online tab. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its video podcast, you can donate online at csoportland.org/donate. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.
Right. Let's give a hand to the Friends Band. They're very good. Very good. All right, we're going to start with our opening song. It's called Thank You for This Day. And it's in your program in a bright pink sheet. Bright pink. Go ahead and stand and we'll do this together. Show a little gratitude.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Friends,
Thank you for this friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends.
help.
Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health.
Life.
Thank you for this life, Spirit, thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
Good morning and welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living. We are a science of mind community that teaches spiritual principles to transform your life and make the world a better place. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. All we ask is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life, as we say, by simply changing your mind. My name is Nancy Ashley, licensed practitioner here, and I welcome you. And for our Facebook Live audience, welcome. So if you are new to the center, anyone new here today? Yes. Okay. And did you get a welcome packet on the way in? Good. Okay, and you can have a welcome packet on the way out, which gives everybody information about who we are, what we believe, and how we might support you. And for our virtual community, you can go on to our website, cslportland.org, under the About Us tab, and you'll find out more information there on who we are, what we stand for, and how we might serve you. On our website, you can sign up for weekly emails that detail all of the events, all of the Zoom links, all of the classes, everything, and you can even get a free gift on your birthday. So we have a number of announcements here today, and I'm going to keep them brief. On November 19th, which is the Thursday before Thanksgiving, we have two events going on. One is the immediately after service, and when we set everything up, we will be having our harvest potluck. And there's a sign up in the back there for you to say that you're going to be here and how many people you'll be bringing, and also as it's a potluck, what you might want to be bringing. We will be providing the turkey and ham, so all of the other accoutrements will be provided by all of us. At the same time, upstairs, there will be a silent auction going on. This is our second year of this, and you'll be able to see all different kinds of things. So there are tickets, there are pieces of equipment. I'm not sure what else is going to be up there this time. I know my husband is donating his little trade. Anyway, he can't use it anymore. So, but there'll be all kinds of things for you to bid on, and of course, everything that comes from that is for our center and for the. Bringing a new minister in, it's all part of that. So please sign up on the back table if you'd like to participate in that by bringing something in and donating it to the center. So we also have coming up the last week in November, and this is from Reverend Christine, who is our interim minister, Moving from Scarcity to Prosperity, a 90-minute workshop, which will be hybrid and in person. So it's virtual and in person. And prosperity is not just about money. It is about a way of thinking and being that opens us to the universal flow of good. Join Reverend Christine as she shares tools and practices to live a more prosperous life. There are no prerequisites for this workshop. All are welcome. The class is held in person in PCSL's upstairs classroom and also online in our virtual community. So details will be on the website, and that's where you will sign up. So couple of other things. I want to just mention that we are still promoting the Transcendence Women's 12-Step Recovery Group, which from the last time I did it, we got one new member coming in. So this is for women in any 12-step program. We'd love to have you. We've been going since 2009. What's that make it? 14 years now. We've been doing 12-step recovery here at PCSL, and we'd love to have you join us. It is a science of mind-oriented meeting, so please join us. And let's see, on licensed practitioners on High Watch today include Nadine Moeller in the back and Donna Wallace on Facebook Live, and they are holding a sacred container of consciousness in the sanctuary and for our virtual community. We've had a few changes from what you see in your program. So our musician for today, who's wonderful. Ken Brewer will be our special guest star. And did you know that he teaches also, and he's a wonderful teacher. If I just kept it up, I'd be terrific by now. But so we also thank our Friends Band for all of our music. So we have Ken and Jim and Donnie, and thank you also covering for our music today. We also, it says, Reverend Barbara Wiest, who was here last week, was supposed to be back again this week, and she has laryngitis and couldn't speak. So we are very happy to have our very own licensed practitioner, Kathryn Richer, who was here several weeks ago with us. And her talk title is Breaking Free of the Or, as in either or, and the appearance of war. So we'll be talking about that. Kathryn will be talking about that. Thank you for filling in so quickly. Our flowers today are courtesy of Diana Ness. Thank you. And a beautiful autumn one. And so, sit back and relax, because we know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, and the message is exactly what your heart came to receive.
Let's take a nice breath, relax into our meditation.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
There is only love, but there are so many more beautiful qualities of spirit: peace, joy, abundance, wholeness, that are everywhere present. And love is, of course, the primary one that we all experience from Spirit, knowing the truth of our being. And so expecting that love resides in every aspect of the universe, as does peace. Peace is here in our hearts as we bring it in, as we acknowledge it. Peace is what we need right now, and it is available and everywhere present. And so knowing that I am a unique, individualized expression of this oneness, I know that I am a being of love. I am a being of peace and wholeness. And as that is true for me, I know it's true for every person here and within the sound of our voice, that it is always available. Peace, love, joy, wholeness. These qualities are within us, as us, awaiting our recognition and for us to bring them forth in our daily living. And so I know that as peace is within me, that I have the choice to respond or react to everything that goes on. I know that my response is a choice, a conscious choice, that I can be peace, that I can choose to bring that consciousness into the world. And each one of us is a vehicle for this, to provide our own peace into the collective consciousness as we bring the world into a more comfortable, loving place. And so I just give thanks for knowing that peace is available, that peace is within us and is here with us right now. And so I just give thanks for this. And I know that for each of us, that we are able to bring peace into our lives and into our community. And I give thanks for all of this. And so I just release my word into the action and activity of the law, knowing that it is already done. The universe, the law always says yes. And as we bring our consciousness forward, the law responds. And so I give thanks for this. I let it be. And together we say, and so it is. And as we go into our meditation for a few moments, I just invite us to think about how each one of us today could be a vehicle for bringing peace into our lives, into our family, into the community, into our world.
Standing at the crossroads, trying to read the signs to tell me which way I should go to find the answer, when all the time I know, plant your love and let it grow. Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow. Love is lovely. Let it grow. Looking for a reason, looking for a rhyme, trying hard to find a friend that I can count on. But This much I know. Plant your love and let it grow. Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow. Love is lovely. Let it grow. Time is getting shorter. There's so much left to do. Only ask and you will get what you are needing. The rest is up to you. Plant your love and let it grow. Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow. Love is lovely. Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow. Love is lovely. Let it grow.
Ken Brewer.
Thank you so much for that song, Ken and the Friends Band. Let's give them some more love today. Thank you so much. You ever heard of the angel? The angel that over every blade of grass whispers, grow, grow. These days she feels like she's going, grow, 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 grow. A lot of growth. So thank you to everyone in the sanctuary and to our beloved virtual community for being here today. Everyone's conscious presence truly matters. It is my honor and delight to offer today's message, which will include wisdom from both of this month's Reverend Barbaras. We had 2 Reverend Barbaras this month, both of their messages, and also portions of my talk from a couple of weeks ago on rockin' and rollin' through life. And we'll toss in some paradox just to spice it up. And today I'd like to address a rock and roll that has been weighing really heavily in my heart. And that is the rock and roll between relative peace and the appearance of war. And war and peace and peace and war. And all of the places in between as I witness current events in the Middle East, in Ukraine, the US-Mexico border, and other areas that are ravaged by human conflict. It's been hard to know what to say and what to say to those in our community that are impacted by events. And I can't imagine that really no one is untouched. Like many of us, I've been in silent shock and mourning. And I just want to say that my heart sincerely goes out to you, to your beloveds, to those responding. And I also acknowledge the lives of those who are no longer with us. May our gathering today be in honor of you all. And may we dedicate ourselves to breaking free of the belief that things must be either A or B. Let's break free from this polarizing or to liberate ourselves and therefore others by living in a unifying and as cosmic amphibians. Are you with me? Yes. Okay. Welcome. There once was an ancient fish. And you might remember this fish who went through many, many, many years of evolution to its moment of finding itself unable to breathe anymore in stagnant waters that had been its home and all it had known. And so it did something no other fish had ever done. It rose to the surface of the water and put its nose out. It was a place between water and the unknown. And the first thing it did was breathe. Its very first breath of air. This was the fish's first step towards living in the water and on land. Because it had evolved along with this oceanic environment. It contained everything that it needed to live as an amphibian. It could breathe both water and air. And after many, like millions of years, it adapted to live fully on land. This is our common ancestor. We breathe because it learned to. We see because its oceanic wormfish ancestors developed that ability. We have hiccups that are a remnant of the mechanism that allowed the fish to close the entryway to its lungs when underwater. Breathe and evolve, as Ken sang, grow. So there are creatures with us today that live the amphibious life, both on land and in water. Tadpoles and frogs, newts, axolotls, lungfish, mudskippers, some of our crabs. There's diving bell spiders that actually bring a little oxygen bubble around itself and lives in the water that way. So they live in the and as amphibians. So how can we learn from them? We can recognize that we humans are also amphibians. Cosmic amphibians. So the word amphibian comes from the Greek word amphibios, and it means living a double life. We are of the cosmos, and we live in earth skins, earth suits. We are spirit and flesh. We are stars, and we are wrapped in these beautiful bodies. And perhaps this is why we feel such dissonance in the face of war, in the face of conflict and confusion. Our inner being knows this is not the truth of who we are. And yet we live and witness it on a daily basis. So how do we navigate the paradox of living as cosmic amphibians? How do we live and breathe in both worlds? How do we live and breathe in situations that challenge our deepest beliefs? How do we move from the tyranny and the polarities of the or this or that. 2, the place of living in the and particularly in the midst of human, environmental, and all sentient beings suffering. You'll know all the answers in about 20 minutes. Well, I'll start anyway with 3 things that I'll offer for navigating these paradoxes. 1 is breathe like the fish. 2 is ask what would shrew do. And live spiritual principles and practices, as always. So first, breathe. This sounds so simple, it sometimes sounds really trite. But when you think about it, when there's an emergency and responders show up and somebody's having an anxiety attack or a panic attack or they can't breathe, what do? They hand you a paper bag and say, breathe into this bag. Because it saves your life. It resets your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. The breath literally is life, and it's the first thing that we do out of the womb. We breathe. We have literally gone from water to land. We breathe in that moment. And at life's end, we breathe our last breath. One day I actually choked on vitamins. I was by myself, and I literally could not breathe. And believe me, after this, and you can do this, YouTube, what to do if you're alone and you choke. I highly advise that. Fortunately, I was able to pound on my chest hard enough when I realized my neighbor wasn't home, who I'd ran over and thinking I was going to die on her living room carpet. I can't do this to my friend Elena. So, wow, did I realize that breath is my life. Let's not get to the point of that before we realize that. But we really pay so little attention to it. To deepen it consciously when our breathing is shallow. To use it to reset our parasympathetic so that we can get out of fight or flight when it's not necessary. To relax into it and to the life that it opens for us. It literally moves the life force in our bodies, the prana, some call it. It moves the life force in our bodies. So taking a breath in the midst of confusion, I want to say one of the roots in the etymology of the word war is from the old German language, wehren. And it actually means confusion. War as confusion. Anyway, we take a myth in the breadth of confusion or outrage or shock or anxiety. This creates a space between a reaction and a response, right? Reverend Barbara Lager spoke of this in relation to where we put our attention to in a polarized world. We begin with the breath. It can make all the difference between an action or words that we can't erase and a response. It creates that space to invite a peaceful, non-violent, non-reactive response simply by breathing. So, 1, like the fishy, take a nice deep breath. With me now, if it feels comfortable. Just breathe, that's good. And we can. So, 2, ask, what would shrew do? So those who heard the rock and rollin' through life a couple Sundays ago might remember what would shrew do. And the shrew was a tiny, tiny, tiny creature that evolved from a single-celled organism, just as we all did, and it survived extinction. Now, I just want to say, I think shrew was pretty flippin' rad. Shrew lived outlived dinosaurs and extinctions and the asteroid crash and being chased around by massive creatures that just wanted a snack. And so if shrew was this pretty flippin' rad, we can think of a little acronym for shrew. FRAD. Flippin' rad. So what's the F of the shrew do? Follow our instincts. Shrew followed its instincts. And we talked about this as intuition, as that gut response, as that inner knowing, as that inner truth that is often the first thing that pops up before our ego gets in the mind and says, nah, 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 nah. Know what is yours to do through this inner knowing and what is not yours to do. And develop the ability to discern between the ego and the instinct. So that's another talk, but the F is for follow our instincts. The rad of shrew is that the shrew rolled with the changes. Now, for generations, we have been choosing between seeming paradoxes, generations upon generations. We stand now really, and I would say have been for the last 3 years, on the precipice of everything seemingly falling apart. I believe Reverend Barbara L. Ledger, I hope I pronounced her name right, talked about this as what if it's not really falling apart but coming together? You might remember that. Because the systems and ways of thinking and being that we have been using are no longer sustainable for everyone. And so, like the fish's stagnant waters in ancient times that lacked oxygen, this doesn't work anymore. These things don't work. And so we no longer get to choose between economic growth or taking care of people, technological advances or preserving the environment, being conservative or liberal, taking care of ourselves or taking care of other people, personal safety or collective freedom, etc. Instead, what if we embrace the and as the way to roll with these evolutionary, revolutionary, I would say, changes that are being called forth. These don't come from nowhere. We can do all of this. So rather than a this or a that, it's a this and that. Economic growth and take care of our people. Technological advances and preserve the environment. Personal safety and collective freedom, take care of ourselves and others. It's the and place. So that's the art of rolling with our evolutionary changes. The A in the rad is for adapting. We really are, and again, I'd say for the last 3 years, have been at a tipping point in our world. We are in the progress and the process of major paradigm shifts. Shift is happening. Shift happens. And it's really happening. And we can either continue to hold on tightly to beliefs and ideas and systems we know are no longer working for us, or choose to willingly adapt. The fish let go of everything it knew and adapted. And we too can let go to continue building new systems together. We must let go of what was when it's necessary to. Let go of our attachments, let go of control. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. We think we have control. Well, we can let that go and live in the and we can be adaptable so that we can find new solutions, set aside seeming differences, and work together in the and. Is this easy? Well, kind of like a fish out of water sometimes. But eventually we get used to living on that land, yeah? So the D in FRAD is develop new skills. So the shrew developed new skills. So we are seeking what is possible when we step in, develop the skill of stepping out of our rigid or ways of thinking. And we stand, as Reverend Barbara Wiest talked about, with vulnerability and curiosity in the and. It doesn't have to be, oh, this and. It's this and, Technological advances are being used to support the environment. Politicians are crossing aisles sometimes to pass necessary bipartisan legislation. Countries that take care of their people first are flourishing. And systems that need to crumble are left to go naturally, while society focuses on building up the systems that need to continue to stand. So this is rolling with evolution by developing new skills, and like the fish, we have everything we need inside us, waiting to be revealed. The fish didn't know it had developed lungs while it was hanging out in the ocean millennia, or tiny feet and hands that turned into feet and hands here. We have and we are more than enough to evolve. Thomas Troward tells us that the divine spirit is the limitless potential of human life, which means the human is really divine and will ever evolve into newer and better states of conscious being. Ernest Holmes wrote that last part. So we ever evolve into newer states of conscious being. So now we're going to move from what would shrew do to aligning with that divine spirit to evolve through living science of mind principles and practices. Our practitioner, Nadine Moeller, calls this, what would Uncle Ernie do? As in Ernest Holmes, who was the founder of the Science of Mind, which is really a beautiful collection of all of the ancient wisdom and new thought, all in one beautiful package that we teach here and we practice here as a philosophy and as a way of life. So I'm guessing that Ernest would probably remind us to be in spiritual community as we are today, do our daily spiritual practice, things like we talked about a couple weeks ago, our inspired readings, we study, we have amazing classes here at the center for everyone. We practice our affirmative consciousness statements, some people call it affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatments. We speak the word into truth. We meditate to breathe, to see clearly, to experience freedom from anxiety and worry by releasing thoughts and being present to the gift of the moment. And newly added today, I believe it is a spiritual practice, and we can make it be a spiritual practice to practice the and. So if I'm, in Science of Mind, we often say we need to look beyond the circumstances to know the truth. Yes. Well, do I look beyond circumstances, or do I acknowledge what's happening? How about both? How about I look beyond them in the way of affirming the truth that I know to be true always, which is the peace and the beauty and the joy and the harmony, while I acknowledge the circumstances, while I also acknowledge my own feelings, my own vulnerabilities, and I tend myself in my helplessness when I feel that way, which I have a bit lately. I can tend to those feelings. So we can both look beyond them and affirm the positive and the truth and acknowledge. So do I do affirmative prayer or do I act? Well, both. Treat and move your feet. We used to have a bishop in the Episcopal Church. He always used to say, you read that prayer book or that Bible, then you close it and you get on out there. We can do actions to support our feelings to support how we feel about what's happening. We can make donations. We can get involved in community action. There's a story of, I'll share with you in a moment, about some people involved in this. We can reach out to those that we know are impacted and say, how are you? Would you like to talk? Can I bring you soup? You want some coffee? This must be hard, right? So we can also know the spiritual truth. Do I do that or do I watch the news? Well, we can do both. We can know the spiritual truths and we can be informed. All right, with a caution of just enough. Know just enough to know what you feel like you need to know to be in support of the people and the places and the situations that are near and dear to your heart and where people are suffering. Just enough and solid information sources, which means likely not social media, just saying. And in knowing these spiritual truths, we bring our attention to and we be these qualities, right? Be the peace that we want to see in the world, yeah? Be the love that we want to see in the world. Be the harmony. Be the joy. We can give ourselves permission to be in joy, even when things are tough. The world needs the vibration of joy, and it's not selfish. I actually went to a performance a few nights ago, and at the break, you know, there's 50,000 of us women in the bathroom and 50,000 toilets flushing at the same time, and it was actually Hair, which all is about peace and war, right? We saw Low Steel in that, and I was like, wow, you know, oh my gosh, remembering the songs about Where Have All the Flowers Gone and all of the songs that we sang. Well, not quite my generation. I was a little before that, but. And I just found myself giving gratitude that I had a toilet to flush. And from there, I can affirm that for everyone, all legitimate needs are met. So as we're eating and we're remembering what's happening in the world, we can be grateful for every single thing that we have that is so easy to gloss over. We are in gratitude for that, and we affirm that, and we call it forth for everyone. So that's how we can do our spiritual practice of the and. And then, of course, we are in faith. And again, like I said, this is not a floppy faith of hoping or wishing. It's a mental attitude. It is a positive mental attitude. And you know, the mental attitudes become our emotions and our feelings and the chemicals in our body. So these support us as we live in this paradox of being cosmic amphibians in the face of confusion. So, where are we? Oh my gosh. So we're at changing your life by changing your mind, of course. This is one of the hallmarks of science of mind, and we know that our inner world is reflected in our outer world. They are connected. And we know also that the universal creative process always responds to our innermost thoughts, feelings, beliefs, words, actions. So we pay close attention to these, knowing that we create through them. So we do need to pay attention and acknowledge our own inner conflicts. We all face inner conflicts on a daily basis. Our minds are often just battlegrounds of conflicting desires and fears and judgments. And if we rest in, when we rest in the and we practice oneness, we practice non-duality, there is no this or that, there's no other, there's no anything outside of this one thing. This teaches us to look within, to examine and embrace these internal conflicts. And when we see what happens, we can nudge ourselves into curiosity once we acknowledge our feelings and our conflicts and say, I wonder how my inner conflicts are mirrors of external wars. Do my struggles with scarcity or not enoughness or doubt or a need for power because I feel helpless, are these reflected in what I'm seeing in the world. So, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, because I am honest about my inner conflicts and do what I can to resolve them. I look at what is where do I have the need to be right, and what is the cost? Where am I unwilling to let go? Where is my righteousness? And how helpful is it? And how much are these connected to the unyielding need to be right in arguments and conflicts and wars? And what might we gain by prioritizing understanding understanding over the need to be right? Doesn't mean we agree. Let's come to understand over being right. And I want to, what about, can we empathize with people that we perceive as the enemy? Now, this is hard. This is really hard. Can we consider the humanity in individuals, in groups, who are labeled as adversaries? And how might empathy alter my approach to resolving conflicts? So as a late teenager, I was abused by a guy on our first and last date. And not too long ago, actually, I remember that he suicided shortly after that. And in that moment, I realized what a tormented soul he was. And I was finally able to understand and forgive, which doesn't mean it was right. It just meant I understood. So how can we empathize with those we perceive as an enemy? And lastly, what if there were no us and them in the world? No us and no them. What would it be like to live in a world without these labels? What labels do we use, and are we willing to let them go? So when we have this willingness to look inward, we see that the essence of oneness lies in recognizing that the boundaries we construct and the labels we construct are a product of our mind. They are stories, they are narratives, and they give rise to nations, ideologies, and conflicts, but they are not the truth. And then we can start to sense an invitation to peace and freedom. We realize it's not just the absence of conflict, but in knowing what is needed is our collective reawakening to the unity of all existence. Our collective awakening, a united state of consciousness of the oneness that is all. Because the truth is that there is a unifying force back of life, and it is the oneness of all life. There is no other in it, there is no or in it. This is where true peace and freedom lie, in our inner world and in our outer world. So, this is some suggestions on how to navigate the paradox of living as cosmic amphibians, breaking free of the or and embracing the and, evolve by living in the and. We breathe like the fishy. We do what shrew would do. We follow instincts, adapt, roll with changes, develop new skills, and we live our spiritual principles through community, practice, faith, looking at our inner world, and remember the truth that there's a unifying force back of all life, and it is the oneness. So, are you ready to take divinely inspired right action to break free from the or living and live in the one, the and of oneness as cosmic amphibians? Yes. Yes. All right. A little bit more. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's take this into a very, very quick affirmative statement, knowing that indeed, in the power and the presence and the wisdom of the one is the way of deeply knowing and practicing and living the truth, the unshakable, indestructible truth that everything is actually one. Everything is one. And as we step forward today, we step forward in the willingness to know that we have everything that we need inside of us to look with ourselves with compassion, embrace ourselves as we also navigate these conflicts and confusions in the way towards peace. We live our lives as peaceful beings, bringing peace to each situation in our mind, in our inner world and our outer worlds, knowing that we are fully supported, and in so doing, we are free. And when we are free, everyone is free. I'm so grateful to know this is the truth. And in that gratitude, I release my word into the cosmic womb of infinite potential and possibility, that place that always says yes. I simply let it be, and I allow it to be, and I welcome it to be. And we say together, and so it is. Thank you so much. And I left my piece of paper down there about what I'm saying about the offering, but right now is our time of conscious giving. We are privileged to be able to give, to support our center in its fabulous music and being in the building, in the messages, in our local community for whom we donate. And so thank you for participating in the flow, the evolutionary flow of giving and receiving. And I want to say that the ushers go ahead and come forward. They'll be sharing a basket around the room in just a minute. For our virtual community, you can contribute online. You can actually text donate as well. And all ways of donating are listed on our website. So please with me, let's go ahead and bless these gifts that we are receiving at this moment. We are so grateful in this moment. We are so grateful in this moment. Call and response. We are so grateful in this moment. We are so grateful in this moment. To contribute our gifts for this beautiful center. To contribute our gifts for this beautiful center. Knowing that as we give, we richly, lavishly, and abundantly receive. And we are in gratitude for this life. Go ahead, the ushers will go ahead. And let's have our music gel everything. Music is a unifier in the oneness that already is, so thank you.
And if it's okay, we're going to kind of lighten the mood with this song a little bit. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's all
Just
right.
everybody say, it's all right.
It's all right.
Okay. Say it's all right.
It's all right.
Say it's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. Have a good time. 'Cause it's all right. Whoa, it's all right. We're gonna move it slow. When lights are low. When you move it slow, it sounds like more. And it's all right. Whoa, it's all right. Now listen to the beat. And you can tap your feet. 'Cause you've got soul. Everybody knows that it's all right. Whoa, it's all right. When you wake up early in the morning, feeling sad like so many of us do, just hum a little soul and make life your goal. And surely something's gonna come to you and tell you it's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right to have a good time. 'Cause it's all right. Whoa, it's all right. Everybody clap your hands. Give yourself a chance. 'Cause you've got soul. Everybody knows that it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. When you wake up early in the morning, feeling sad like so many of us do, just hum a little soul and make life your goal. And surely something's gonna come to you and tell you it's alright.
It's alright.
Say it's alright.
It's alright.
It's alright. Have a good time, 'cause it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. It's alright. Have a good time, 'cause it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. It's alright. Have a good time, 'cause it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. It's alright.
Yay. Thank you so much for the beautiful music today. As always, really appreciate you. And you know, it's okay to say it's all right, and you can have a good time. And also, if you are going through any kind of trouble right now, or if you would like to improve an area of your life, please consider a quick prayer with one of our licensed practitioners who will be right up front after the service. We also have prayer request cards you can fill out at the prayer table where practitioner Nadine is. For our virtual community, you can submit a prayer request on our website at cslportland.org. Both are immediately distributed to all of our practitioners and ministers, and it is our joy, and we have a good time praying for you all week. Now I invite you to stand for our benediction. If you have a hand. All right. And this again is a call and response, so I'm going to start with, as I embrace living in the and. As I embrace living in the and. I know that something wonderful is flowing through me.
I know that something wonderful is flowing through me.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my breath.
Life is in my breath.
Life is in my affairs.
Life is in my affairs.
All of them.
All of them.
I think it.
I think it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I am it.
I am it.
Just the way that I am.
Just the way that I am.
Just know with me that you are never, ever, ever alone in the oneness of this grand cosmos. The divine presence of love is the gravity of love that binds you to the earth. It is everywhere, and it is within you always. Anytime you might forget this, just go within and remember that you are loved. And in gratitude for this remembrance, we let it be, and we say together, and so it is. So it is.
Let's do our closing song, Blessed Always.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God.
We hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, we'd love to have you visit in person. The Portland Center for Spiritual Living is located at 6211 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Our inspirational service is at 11 a.m. every Sunday. We also have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. We have a variety of content dedicated specifically for our podcast listeners. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its podcasts, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Our website is also the place to learn more about what's going on at the center or to contact us. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.